want to remind you guys what I said this morning, that it was going to be tight and go right down to the end.
Yeah. Well, that takes care of my first question.
Yeah.
But Mike, they gave you everything you could have handled.
Yeah, that's what we expected. You know, again, their last game, our last, the game that the couple games that we pre-scouted, obviously Pittsburgh, they gave Pittsburgh a handful in that game, but more so that was a back-to-back situation, and we looked at the way that they played in Washington, and so that's what we expected tonight.
What did you change there going into the third period? What needed to be
just got refocused, and second period we weren't good. First period was pretty decent, and second period we came out with a real strong effort, grabbed the lead, and then we just we stopped doing the things that we need to do, and again, credit to them. It's not just on us, but we stopped checking the way that we were checking. We gave up way too many scoring chances, way too many odd man rushes. That's not our game. But what good teams do though is they can have a period in the game that they're not on top of things, and then they can find their game. And I thought we did that in the third period.
How hard is it to? You said your remarks got their attention after the second period. Can you share it all? What you might have said?
I said that's not us. Basically, that's it. And so I think we know kind of what we've been doing, and what the recipe is for us to be successful. And I think you can say whatever you want in there, but it's up to them to go out and do it, and they responded really well.
How hard is it to be a good backup goalie when you don't get as much game action like Carter?
I wish I could tell you, but I've never had any experience as a backup goalie. But I can tell you that what Hutz is doing is I do have the experience of working with a number of goalies, and what he's doing is really impressive and extremely important for our hockey club. It's one thing to throw a backup in there and you say, okay, maybe Jake needs some rest, whatever the case is, but those are games that you need to win. Those are games that count in the standings, and so the way that he is able to every day he comes into the rink, and every day he takes on the extra minutes, he takes the extra shots, because obviously a lot of the times Jake needs to get a little bit more rest or whatever the case is. He does that, but then the way that he's able to amp up and get focused and get himself prepared for the games and stay sharp for the games that he gets into, it shows. His competitiveness, I find, shows up in the games. It shows in the way that he doesn't quit on plays, but I also think it shows up big time behind the scenes when we see that preparation.
Mike, Carter just said that he and his wife stressed out the 2 weeks before the expansion draft. Organizationally, were you guys fearful of losing?
Well, we were fearful. I mean, obviously, you go through every situation. We didn't want to lose any we like all of our players. So, but certainly, yeah, he was one of those guys that you were nervous. So,
is it kind of obviously they've had their issues with goalies because of injuries?
Yeah.
I mean, kind of remarkable that he doesn't get that much attention that he would have been considered for.
I'm sure he was probably considered. I don't know what the inner workings were there, but he's done. We're just happy that he's still with us, and he's done a huge job for us. Looking back at what he did for us last year, and then looking where he's carried on this year, I think he's certainly grabbing some attention now.
Mike, we've been talking about the secondary scoring and whatnot you're getting from the defensemen, but the more this goes on, are you more amazed that they keep shipping in the way they are?
No. I mean, again, a lot of credit goes to the forwards, and definitely have to give a little tip of the cap to Thorburn. What a great play that was! And that wasn't an accident. You saw him pick his head up and look for Eddie and shoot for the stick. So, again, a lot of the credit goes to the forwards, but when we're on top of our game and we're at our best, we're playing as a 5-man unit, and we do that offensively and we do that defensively, and we did that for a good portion of the game tonight. But we saw that when the responsibility that comes with that, and when we weren't doing it, then things weren't going well.
Is it the sign of a good team that maybe even when you're not at your best, you can find a way to win a game?
It is, yeah, no question, and a sign of a good team, again, that maybe things aren't going your way in the game, and maybe you get away from your game a little bit, but you can find it. That doesn't have to turn into something that you can't recover from. And I thought that we recovered nicely, and when we needed Hutz to hold us in there when we weren't on top of things, he did a great job.
Offense been a little hard to come by for Alex Interstein this year. I know it's just a shootout goal, but you think that's a pick-me-up for him? them?
Well, you know what? I feel like their line has been really solid for us and really strong for us. That I feel like they've been mentioned it even to Stas this morning that that they've been robbed a little bit the last few games. I feel like they've deserved better. And Steiner, you know, the one thing that's probably overlooked a little bit is that that line's been getting the heavy matchups. They've been getting the the other team's top players, and obviously with that comes more defensive zone face-offs, and with that comes a little bit more focus on obviously probably a little less risk to your game, to be honest with you. So we got away from that kind of at the end there, you know, when we were trying to come back, but those guys have done a really good job helping us win hockey games. And I feel again that offensively things have not really bounced their way.
Mike, Ari apparently is really struggling. Glad he visited her in the hospital today. Can you just talk about, from your perspective as a coach, the pride you take in things like that?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is a fun group to coach because they're competitive, but excuse me, when you're on the inside and you see the quality of people that we have in the locker room, you know, you need character to win, and we have lots of that. Thanks, guys.